Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. In this module, we are going to discuss a few important questions of life processes, and it is going to be a series. And the first part, we are going to include the topic autotrophic nutrition. I am covering all the important questions here so that you don't have a chance to miss even a single mark from this topic. And for your information, I have already uploaded multiple choice questions in this channel. You can visit the playlist and look for extra questions in class 10. And also you can type Biology My Passion Life Processes MCQ, you will get the video. Apart from biological lessons, I have uploaded physics and chemistry lessons and some MCQs in chemistry and lot of numericals in physics. Other than this, class 9 biology chapters, class 12 NEET level chapters and class 11 a few chapters are available in this channel. So without much ado, we will start now. First question in this series is define life processes. So this is a very basic question. The processes which together perform the maintenance job to keep us alive are life processes. We have many life processes like nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation, etc. The next is a very important question, which is the most basic characteristic of living beings. It is nothing but molecular movement. Third question is related to the second question. Are viruses considered living? Why or why not? Just now we understood the basic characteristic of living things is molecular movement. So viruses do not show any molecular movement in them until they infect some cell, and that is partly why there is a controversy about whether they are truly alive or not. Next question, name the two types of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Identify the stored form of sugar in plants and animals. Once plants prepare the food, they will be storing the excess food in the form of starch. Whereas in animals, once we consume starch, we break down them into glucose, and the excess one will be stored in the liver in the form of glycogen. So the stored form of sugar in plants is starch, and in animals it is glycogen. Multicellular organisms cannot depend on simple diffusion for exchange of gas like unicellular ones. Give reason. In the case of a single-celled organisms, for example amoeba, no specific organs for taking in food, exchange of gases or removal of waste may be needed, because the entire surface of the organism is in contact with the environment. So diffusion is easily possible. Whereas in multicellular organisms, all the cells may not be in direct contact with the surrounding environment. The simple diffusion will not meet the requirements of all the cells. Define photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, the name suggests photo means light, synthesis means prepare or manufacture. Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophs take in substances from the outside and convert them into stored forms of energy. This material is taken in the form of carbon dioxide and water, which is converted into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. What is autotrophic nutrition? Auto means self, trophic means nutrition. So autotrophic nutrition means self-nutrition. It is a process where an organism prepares its own food from simple inorganic materials like water, mineral salts and carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight. What are autotrophs? Give examples. Autotrophs are the organisms that produce their own food. Example, green plants, photosynthetic bacteria, etc. So here you have to be little careful when the question is asked in the examination. You have to first decide whether autotrophic nutrition is asked or autotrophs are asked. Depending on that, you have to modify your answer. The equation for photosynthesis, 6CO2 plus 12H2O, C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O are the products. Here on the arrow you have to write sunlight and chlorophyll, which are the conditions required for photosynthesis. This is a balanced chemical equation. Sometimes students ask whether we should write the balanced equation. Yes, of course you have to write balanced equation, because you are taught how to balance an equation in the first part of this chemistry lesson itself. Describe the steps of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis has three main events. First, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, because sunlight is the source of energy. Second, conversion of light energy to chemical energy. and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, and this oxygen will be released out and hydrogen will be added to carbon dioxide. So addition of hydrogen is reduction, so reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate is the third step. Carbohydrate is the last product, and the first two steps together called a light reaction, because this reaction happens in the presence of sunlight, whereas the third part is the dark reaction. It is independent of light. How is photosynthesis in desert plants different from the normal plants? We learned there are three events in photosynthesis, but those three steps need not happen in sequential order, because desert plants take up carbon dioxide at night. Why? Because during daytime they have to keep their stomata closed in order to prevent excess water loss during transpiration. And they prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. What are the raw materials needed for photosynthesis? The raw materials are carbon dioxide and water. But what are the factors required for photosynthesis? You have to write carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. What is the source of oxygen released during photosynthesis? We learned the second step of photosynthesis is photolysis of water, where water is broken down in the presence of sunlight into hydrogen and oxygen, and this oxygen is released out. So the source of oxygen released is water. What are stomata? Write their functions. Stomata are tiny pores present on the surface of leaves. Their functions are gaseous exchange and transpiration. How does stomata open and close? The opening and closing of the pore are a function of guard cells. Guard cells swell when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cells shrink. Define transpiration. Loss of excess water through stomata from the aerial parts of the plant in the form of water vapor is called transpiration. Identify the structures found in guard cells. Guard cells have nucleus and chloroplast. Which part of leaf has a greater number of stomata? Why? Lower surface of leaf has maximum number of stomata because lower part is not exposed to sunlight, so it can prevent water loss by transpiration. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? Absorption of light energy is possible only with the help of a green pigment called a chlorophyll.